Borger is his name. Come on out, Kyle.
Today I found my friends, they're in my head. I'm so ugly, but that's okay, 'cause so are you. We broke our mirrors. Sunday morning is every day for all I care. But I'm not scared, light my candles in a daze, 'cause I found God.
Any Nirvana fans out there? Or Polyphonic Spree fans out there? Nobody. Okay. How's it going? How we doing? So, how many of you were not here last time? Alright, you guys are gonna love my set. Now, before I get started, I have a bone to pick with the fellow before me. Phineas and Ferb is ridiculously awesome. Can I get an amen? I think it's hilarious. And the sound that Perry the Platypus makes, that noise cracks me up every time. You know the one I'm talking about. I can't do it well, I'm sorry. Okay. So those of you who saw me last time remember this little doodad here. Read my set off of it. I actually memorized it. But then 420 happened. So, back to the iPhone. So tonight, I will be lowering your standards for humanity just a little bit more. It feels so odd to describe oneself, doesn't it? You want to present just the right image to seem hip or cool, and usually end up failing at presenting the ideal you to other people. So, sometimes you bend the truth a bit, or just leave out certain tidbits. Let's be honest. You have to have some pizzazz. None of that cliche nonsense. But it can feel downright masturbatory talking about yourself on stage, or even writing about yourself. Autobiographies tend to have that tone, don't they? Some delaying the inevitable. My very own set of self-masturbatory half-truths. I suppose you could describe me as a jolly cynic. Sounds good? Short? Sweet? It leaves a little bit of mystery, right? It doesn't matter. Now, for those of you who came to see the four other fellas, I'll try to make this as painless as possible without sacrificing the artistic credibility found in my oddly thought-provoking dick and fart jokes. Now, putting yourself on display leads to asking questions like, why the hell would anyone want to be interested in hearing what I have to say or listen to my jokes? To which I have no definite answer. I have a couple of theories. It could be that two kinds of people came to see me specifically. Relatives who are obligated and people who have seen me naked and want to know how well I compensate with my sense of humor. Damn it. Now, if I hadn't told you that, I could at least convince those of you who don't crack a smile that I'm making up for my lack of sense of humor with a package UPS would have trouble overnighting. Now, for the potentially blind members of the audience, I should explain that I am an astonishingly handsome man who's been described as having that ever so sought-after Don Draper meets young Santa Claus look. No, seriously though, I've been chubby all my life and have come to terms with the fact that I'll probably always look like albino Godzilla when I'm naked. However, it is oddly comforting to know that I have thighs that would make Beyonce jealous. Trust me, I've seen myself do the single ladies dance numerous times, and quite frankly, I can kill it. Now, being tubby is by no means easy, though. Big folks such as I are often plagued with painful childhood memories. I was always the kind of kid who wore a shirt in the pool. Now, because you have no idea how hard it is to pick up prepubescent teenage ladies when they're jealous of your killer rack, conceal the goods, right? Sometimes I'll spill a bit of beverage on my chest and honestly think to myself, damn it, I finally started lactating. I knew this day would come. And I've even had numerous male friends tell me that if they were gay, I'd be their #1 pick. And to be honest, this is pretty flattering. It's a pretty flattering title to hold, until I realized it was probably just because of my boobs. I know what you're all thinking. Does he not see the bodacious, chiseled physique the rest of us do? In all reality, I've dropped about 100 pounds over the course of the past year and a half, which I'm pretty sure makes me the only person from my high school who has lost weight since graduating. Now, it may be awful, but that makes me feel awesome. It's reassuring to know that I now am just as likely to be the top of the pyramid as those stuck-up, now plump cheerleaders are. All right, cheerleader haters, okay. Sorry, cheerleaders, okay. Now, there's still enough boob meat behind this shirt to justify it. I've been diligent about maintaining a strict dietary regimen. For example, just the other day I bought a bag of Oreos and didn't eat any of them, except for those 12 that I had. Now, speaking of food, I had this thought the other day. If the world really does revolve around me and I eat a sandwich, have I cured world hunger? I just worry because I'm not what is seen in our society as the manly man. I'm kind of a wuss. But it seems that our society, as it progresses from its more primitive ways, men must find ways to infuse their lives with masculinity that prior to the digital age required participation in manly efforts such as hunting and gathering. Only we really suck at it now. And besides the manliness that is wearing shirts with other dudes' names on them and cheering like Adrian does for Rocky, we participate in acting out roles that society has told us or that men are supposed to fill. We have to be tough, brazen, and astoundingly closed-minded. One way this is adamantly apparent is owning automobiles with capabilities that aren't remotely necessary. Now, I'm not dogging on classic cars or hot rods. Even I can agree that those are badass. I'm talking about the kind of douchebags that own trucks who haven't even been on the same road as dirt. More specifically, those who attach scrotums to the tail end of their vehicle. Because nothing says, I'm tough, like hating the single most pain-sensitive body part attached to a dude on your bumper. Now, I just wonder if Henry Ford had any idea that his creation would one day have a pair of salty man grapes attached to it. I've actually resorted to carrying a set of bolt cutters with me to castrate said vehicles. Heaven forbid they're allowed to breed. I guess what I'm really just sick of is just backwards ass ignorant hicks. And anybody with me there? You're sick of being classified as such being from Kansas? Well, I love my aunt. And I hate liberals. Just all that bullshit. You know what I'm talking about. But they perpetuate ignorance by celebrating it, and it hurts us as a people. I honestly think I'd be more tolerant of their views if I didn't live in the redneck mecca of Kansas that is Manhattan. A place where the streets are littered with drunken cowboys and girls that know far too many lyrics to Rascal Flatts songs to be of sound mind. Now, I'm a pretty docile guy until I'm provoked. And you really have to provoke the shit out of me until you get a negative reaction. So know that I say none of this lightly. The tipping point for me was unwarranted hazing that I found myself victim to. I was walking back to a friend's house from Aggieville after a few drinks and suddenly heard screeching tires behind me and was greeted with a thud and sudden wetness on my back. I looked to my feet only to realize that open beer had been thrown at me. Upon looking up, I heard the word "faggot" yelled in a drunken chorus with "Jesus Take the Wheel" soundtracking the complete loss of faith in humanity. Apparently, Jesus had taken the wheel just in time for some buck-toothed fuck who could hurl a can of piss-flavored Bud Light at the guy wearing skinny jeans, minding his own business. Okay, rant's over, I'm sorry. Does anyone else feel like they're in a perpetual state of arrested development? I just have thoughts on occasion that make me think I'm something far from a fully functioning or mortal human being. I still pretend that my dick is a lightsaber when I pee just as often as I did when I was 6 years old. Guys, do you ever find yourself somehow jetting out two streams for some unknown reason? Yes, I know I do, and it makes me feel like a sorcerer. Each and every time I look down at my penis with pride and say, "You're a wizard, Harry!" I still have the same pee stance from when I was a little tyke as well. You know the one, it's pictured in the How to Be a Little Boy training manual. Pants on the floor and shirt lifted up to my chin. This is also a great way to ensure that you have a comfortable amount of space between you and the dude in the next urinal. Alright, well, I'm on the bathroom humor kick. Little plug for the State Theater. We really need to get some money raised, get the right people contacted, because quite frankly, that hand sanitizer hurt my penis. Open wounds or cuts, but it's still burned. Gratitude monologue. I've managed to maintain a habit of humanizing animals and inanimate objects thanks to Saturday morning cartoons and Walt Disney movies. Does anyone else feel like the villain of a Pixar film after squashing a bug or damaging a random object? No? Okay. Well, I'm special. Okay, or do you ever think about the intricacies of animal life? Like, I wonder if the early bird gets the worm has a different meaning in the worm community. Maybe they use it to encourage worm children to sleep in. And I know that I can't be the only person who talks to animals like they're people, and not the condescending, high-pitched, "Who's a good boy? You are." No, I mean legitimate conversations about the events of the day. I happen to be microwaving or even constructing arguments. God damn it, Spot, why the hell didn't you clean out the blender after using it like we agreed to? Which I reply, acting as Spot, saying, "Oh, Kyle, let's not fool ourselves. The blender is dirty because you last night decided, in your infinite wisdom, that pizza would be an excellent milkshake flavor." Now, I wouldn't expect you to remember, as you were higher than Bob Marley during the recording of his seminal album, Legend. Piss off, Spot, you pretentious shit. Not all animals are British in my imagination. Just the conceited ones. Do you have any idea how hard it is not to sound creepy when you explain why it's not creepy to have coloring books and no children around? Some dudes just like to color, okay? Another reason I feel like a man-child is my love of candy and bubble gum. Do you remember when you were a little kid and your parents would always tell you not to swallow your gum because it will stay in your stomach for 7 years? Thanks, audience member.